In this video, I will introduce Machina's potential, talk about how to build his character, and how I use him. Machina is currently one of my favorite and most used characters in the city of Final Fantasy. During his later stage build, he is probably one of the highest damage dealing characters in the game. Machina's true potential comes out as you accumulate and enhance his stats and weapons. Before this, though, he is pretty much a regular character that deals normal damage. So if you're just starting on your Dissidia Final Fantasy journey, I would advise using and developing other characters such as Noctis, Terra, or Reigns. Maybe Terra as she is effective during early stage builds, but is also valuable during later stage builds as well. I found myself using Noctis a lot in early in the game because of his range attacks, meaning his ability to do damage to multiple enemies in a single attack. However, his utility has somewhat declined for me later on in the game. So why Machina? For me, I use Machina because he is one of the characters that can potentially deal the most damage. And at the end of the day, that's pretty much what I'm looking for in a character. Machina's potential lies in his Furious Blades Burst ability. Basically, Machina's standard HP attack turns into Furious Blades Burst after you fully limit break and enhance his 15 CP gold weapon called Argentic Rapier and complete its associated training board. Furious Blades Burst Furious Blades becomes Furious Blades Burst after you use his burst effect called Illuminating the Future. So the whole goal for Machina is to be able to use Furious Blades Burst throughout his burst attack and during the battle to maximize his HP damage. So let's get into Machina's character build. It's obvious that if you max out his character's build, then you should have access to all these abilities. But let's break down the essentials of his Furious Blades Burst attack. Like I said, the first thing you need is the Furious Blades ability. This becomes available after limit breaking his first 15 CP 5-star weapon and activating the associated training board items. The next step is really the more difficult piece. You will need to pull his BT weapon. Now you don't need to limit break this to green to get his Furious Blades Burst ability. However, this ability only becomes available after your BT attack. You cannot use the Furious Blades Burst ability during your BT attack. If you want to use the Furious Blades Burst ability during your BT attack, then you will need to limit break your BT weapon to green, which is probably harder to do than to secure the BT weapon in the first place. Limit breaking the BT weapon will give Machina an additional BT attack called Illuminating the Future. This attack can be executed outside the burst mode. After doing this, the Furious Blades burst ability becomes available either outside the burst mode or within the burst mode. So assuming that you have a max build for Machina, meaning you've maxed out his crystal and character level, you've limit broken all his weapons and activated his whole training board, as well as limit broken all his armor, you don't need, mind you don't need his ultimate weapon, although this helps to really max out his damage. The strategy for Machina is pretty straightforward. You want to activate and extend Awakening to get extra damage on every attack. Then you want to execute Illuminating the Future to get the Furious Blades Burst attack. After this, you can just execute a burst attack and hit your enemy with Furious Blades Burst throughout the whole burst mode. That's basically it. In my part 2 Machina video, I will talk about how to build a team around Machina to further maximize his damage output. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe.